Either you hand me your entire salary every month, or this marriage is over. That's how my wife Melissa greeted me on a Thursday evening. Not a hello, not a kiss, not even a "how was your day?" Just that cold, calculated ultimatum as she stood in the kitchen, arms crossed, eyes burning with an authority I didn't recognize anymore. For a few seconds I just stared at her, still holding my briefcase, unsure if I'd heard her right. We'd been married 9 years. We'd built everything together. Our small house, our modest savings, our quiet routines. But lately she'd changed. The woman who once laughed at my terrible jokes and cooked dinner while dancing to the radio now barely looked at me unless she wanted something. "Excuse me," I finally said, trying to keep my voice calm. Melissa sighed, exasperated. "I'm tired of living like this, Tom. You're too generous with your money. Always sending some to your parents, helping your brother with rent. Meanwhile, I'm stuck juggling bills. If this is going to work, I need to manage the finances. All of it." It sounded logical, almost caring, if not for the sharp tone underneath. Still, I tried to reason. "Melissa, I already transfer most of it to our joint account. You have access to everything." "No, not most. All." Her voice cut through mine. "From now on, you'll deposit your full paycheck into my account. I'll handle everything. You don't need to worry about money anymore." She said it with such finality, like a manager issuing orders, not a wife making a suggestion. I laughed awkwardly. "You make it sound like I'm your employee." Her face didn't soften. "If you want this marriage to survive, you'll do it. I'm done struggling because you can't manage your priorities." That hit hard. I wanted to argue, to remind her I'd never been irresponsible. But instead I felt something deeper, something cold, settle in my stomach. Because this wasn't about money. It was about control. That night, I lay awake while Melissa scrolled through her phone, her screen lighting up her face every few seconds. She giggled once, quietly, then turned away when she realized I was watching. For weeks, I'd noticed her distance. Late-night work calls. Weekend errands that took hours. The scent of men's cologne that wasn't mine. And now this, the sudden demand for my entire salary. I wanted to believe it was just tension, that maybe I was overthinking. But the gut feeling wouldn't go away. So I decided to test it. The next morning, I told her I'd transferred my full paycheck into her account. But I hadn't. I moved half into savings and half into hers. I wanted to see her reaction. That evening she came home, humming, almost cheerful. But when she checked her phone later, I saw her smile falter. "Tom," she said, her tone icy again, "why is there less money than expected?" Play dumb. I thought that was the full amount. She glared at me. "Don't play games. You make $4,300 a month. There's only $2,150 here." Her precision startled me. She knew my salary to the cent. "Melissa, I paid a few bills this morning." "Which bills?" she snapped. Her tone wasn't one of curiosity. It was interrogation. And in that moment I saw it, the greed, the control, the obsession. But I stayed calm. "Utilities, insurance, a few things. I can show you the receipts." She looked at me for a long time, then forced a smile. "Fine. But next month I expect the entire thing. Understand?" "Sure," I lied. The next few days, I watched her closely. She was suddenly more affectionate, cooking my favorite meals, giving me small kisses before work, even texting me sweet messages during the day. It should have felt nice, but it didn't. Felt rehearsed, strategic. Then one night, as she showered, her phone lit up on the nightstand. A message preview flashed across the screen. "Can't wait for our weekend, babe. Got the sweet again tea." Froze. My pulse pounded so loudly it drowned out the sound of running water. I stared at the name. Just the letter T. I didn't know anyone by that initial. The shower stopped. I quickly placed her phone back down and pretended to be asleep. She slipped into bed a few minutes later, humming softly. Her hand rested on my chest as if nothing in the world was wrong. But inside my world was collapsing. Over the next few days, I became a ghost in my own home. I went through the motions, breakfast, work, dinner, while my mind obsessed over that message. Who was T? A coworker. Someone she met online. On Saturday morning, she told me she was going on a girls' spa weekend. My stomach clenched. Where to? Just outside the city. Don't worry, it's prepaid. She smiled too easily. So, while she packed her overnight bag, I checked our shared calendar. No spa appointment. No girls' weekend. Just a blank square where lies lived. When she left, I waited 15 minutes, then got in my car and followed. She didn't head toward any spa. She drove 2 hours south to a coastal hotel, the Riverside Inn. I parked across the street, my heart hammering so hard I could barely breathe. I watched as she stepped out of the car, her smile wide, her movements light, the kind of joy I hadn't seen from her in months. And then I saw him. A tall man, maybe mid-30s, with a sharp haircut and a leather jacket. He wrapped his arms around her, kissed her like he owned her. And she kissed him back, passionately, without hesitation. My stomach twisted. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation. Standing there, invisible, watching the woman I loved give herself to someone else so easily. I stayed in the car for nearly an hour, watching them laugh, walk hand in hand into the hotel. Then I drove home in silence, my chest hollow. That night I couldn't sleep. Every sound in the house felt like an echo of her laughter with him. When she returned the next day, she was glowing. "The spa was amazing," she said, placing her bag down. I said nothing. She kissed my cheek, humming again, then went to shower. I stood in the kitchen, gripping the countertop until my knuckles turned white. And then I saw it, her purse left slightly open. Inside, her phone. I unlocked it. I shouldn't have, but I did. And what I found confirmed everything. Dozens of messages, pictures, hotel receipts. T. You really think he'll hand over his salary again next month? Melissa, he will. He's too soft. Once I get full control of the money, I'll tell him I need space. T. And then? Melissa. Then I'll move in with you. He can keep the mortgage and the debts. I'll keep the cash. My hands trembled. My vision blurred. I couldn't tell if it was rage or heartbreak. Maybe both. I put the phone back before she came out, pretending nothing had happened. But inside, something inside me broke completely. That week I played along, smiled. I kissed her goodnight. I even agreed to transfer my full salary next payday. But behind the scenes I was preparing. I gathered screenshots, bank records, messages, everything. I met with a lawyer, quietly opened a new account, moved my savings. Then, on the first of the month, I left work early, came home and packed my things. Just one suitcase, my essentials. When Melissa walked in that evening, she froze. What's going on? I looked at her, calm, almost eerily so. You were right, Melissa. You deserve control of everything. So, I'm giving you what you wanted. I handed her an envelope. Inside were printed screenshots of her messages with T. Her face went pale. Tom, I can explain. No, I said quietly. You already did. In every message, every lie, every kiss you gave someone else while pretending to love me. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. You'll notice something else in there. Copies of the bank transfers. You won't be seeing another one from me. I've filed for separation. Her voice cracked. You're just walking away. He nodded. No yelling, no begging. Just walking away. Because I finally realized. I was the only one fighting for us. A month later, the papers were signed. I moved into a small apartment downtown. Life was quieter, lonelier, but peaceful. Sometimes I'd catch myself remembering the early days, when she'd hold my hand in the rain, when she whispered that we'd grow old together. Those memories hurt the most. Then one day, out of nowhere, I got a message. From her. Melissa. I made a mistake. He left me. Miss you. Can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. My heart ached, not from love but from pity. So I replied simply. I already did all the talking. You chose the silence. Then I blocked her. Now 2 years later I'm doing better. I found someone new. Someone who doesn't ask for my paycheck but my presence. Someone who listens, who shares, who laughs without pretending. Sometimes I still wonder how love can turn so cruel, how a promise can rot from the inside. But I've learned something important. Betrayal doesn't define you. How you rise from it does. Because when someone tries to take everything from you, your trust, your dignity, your heart, the best revenge isn't anger. It's walking away with your peace still intact. And that's exactly what I did.